Happy Monday. Victory Monday. We always like those. So I'm recording this on Saturday night. Just got back from the game and dried off. And just want to say, firstly, thank you to everyone that showed up. So there were over 100 people there today in the cold and rain. We asked everyone to turn out because it was such a big, important game for the club. Um, Being a team we're playing that are right down the bottom of the league. But hey, only a month ago, they beat Kings Park Rangers, who are top of the league. So it's one that form and everything goes very up and down, but it's one we asked people to show out, and they showed out. To get over 100 people in those conditions was great. Obviously, it's really nice having the venue that we have because there was a good old 40 people probably in the two different sort of glass fronted areas, one in the bar and one in sort of the restaurant-y kind of area of the Wildcrest, but it just allows people to stay warm, watch the game. Obviously, we've got some of our owners that are much older, and it allows everyone to be safe and not stood out there getting soaked. But just a massive thank you because we're now looking at our home games, just our league games, not including sort of the friendlies and everything where we kicked off the season and the attendances were amazing. But just the league games, we're averaging 141 people a game. And that is legit numbers. I'm not sat here making up and pulling numbers out of the air because it's interesting data for us to see how many people are turning up. So if I walk around and I count 108 people like I did today, it's 108. I'm not there going, oh, I'll call it 132 because it sounds better for the club. Not interested in that. I know this team we played that claimed there was over 400 people at a game. I don't know where they're all hiding, but it's one that there's no need for that. What you're doing is good. Celebrate it and just be honest, open about where you're at. So we were really, really happy with that attendance. And just to sort of compare that to where we're at, because I've gone away and sort of kept an eye on roughly how many people there, and lots of them are obviously are away fans, but you're looking at 60 to 80 sort of people at away games and chatting to people I know. So what do you get sort of seventh tier of English football? And I know there's a significant difference between sort of the northern teams that get loads more than your southern teams in England. But there's teams that sustain in the seventh tier of English football with 150 fans turning up to home games. You obviously get peaks for some of the higher teams in the league or a local derby or something, but on average, saying 150 people come and pay their tenner, that just shows what is possible for us as a club. So I remain optimistic that there's a bright future, but it's just going to take time. You're not overnight going to wake up and then boom, you're in the seventh tier. We're in the 11th tier, and it's going to be a journey. But obviously, after the win today, we rise up to 10th in the league. I said the good aim for this year is that 8 to 11 range, and I think that's roughly where we're at. With 3 points now off eighth place. They've got 2 games in hand on us, but that's got to be the focus for the rest of the year. We finished with 10 points from our first 14 games, which is halfway through the league season. So, hey, if we got 10, let's say let's go out and try get 15 over the second half of the season. And then that just continues that momentum into next year. And if you're getting 20 points over your first 14 games, hey, you're up there. So I think it's that little steps. The big picture will always be to progress the team up and go places, but you've got to mix the two. We've got big ambitions, but you have to deliver and look at those incremental steps. We are significantly better than we were at the start of the season. We had a good first game, and then it was a rough sort of 5, 6 games where it was like, hey, have we bitten off more we'd shoot? That was a fair question we were asking ourselves. But if you see where the team is now, and the squad is so much deeper, we sort of looked at today, we used all 5 subs, and they weren't just like you're throwing someone on there. They were legitimate players. And it was good to see some of the players that weren't in the squad, whether it's through injury and other stuff, they were there. And that shows there's sort of a good chemistry with the entire sort of playing squad and stuff like that. So it's all the stuff that you want to see from a club that continues to develop. But it's that little journey. So got 3 points today. Let's smash 15. Let's say 15 is that second half of the season. Let's go for more than that. But that's the next step where we look we've done an improvement. So yeah, come down. It's our first ever cup game at home next weekend. So got Gaz Recreational Recreational. It's one of the two. I apologise for screwing up their name in previous shows, but that's our first ever Home Cup game. And for that, we're going to be doing a printed program. So if everything comes together, we've spoke to someone, we've seen the sort of examples of what it looks like, looks great. So we're going to be producing and selling those for a cup game next week. I know we've got a few ground hoppers and people planning to come and watch us. So that's something that's a joy when people reach out to Steve from all over the country and say, hey, I want to come watch this game next week. What's the details and everything? Just finalising it, because it's not always the most reliable when you see a time online for some non-league games. So that's one that looking forward to that. And who knows, off the back of it, we'll reassess as a committee, because we don't play at home then again until the new year, because 3 games in December, they're all away games, which I'm relieved. I don't want to be down there with a pitchfork on a Friday night or a Saturday morning trying to get the water out and make sure the game's on. So it's one that it gives us a month where we can properly review as a committee what can we improve, and we would love to provide a printed program for every game, but it's got to be, is it financially viable? And is there the demand for it? Because if those two are there, then we'll go for it. If people only want to buy it, selling 5, then there's just not the point of someone driving to collect it, putting all the effort in and all the other pieces that go with it. But if we can consistently sort of sell 25, then we can certainly look at that and aim to get that produced, because it's a really, really nice thing. We aspire to be great as a club, but it's that, is there the volunteer base and is there the demand to do things? And things will grow over time. But we can only play the hand we're dealt. So that's a couple of things. If you're an owner, you'll be getting an email tomorrow, the standard Tuesday email. We're going to be concluding the survey responses. So we had 51. It was just over 50 people responded to the survey. So we'll be putting all that out with our comments. So keep an eye out on that. If you're an owner, if you're not an owner, become an owner. £50 for the year or £5 a month. If you're looking for a loved one, what do they want for Christmas? They don't want that Christmas hamper. They don't want socks. What they want is an East Thurrock ownership. So get them one. They'll be incredibly happy. And by all means, if you're doing that, please email us and go, do not send this email to that person's email address, whether you want us to add it in after the new year, because we obviously don't want to spoil it, and we send them a certificate 2 weeks before Christmas. Just ping an email to the club account and we'll make sure that email doesn't go out straight away. I can easily schedule it, and if you want it to go sort of 8 a.m. Christmas morning, we can do all that for you. Here to support. By all means, if you want a Christmas ownership, just let us know and we'll sort that out and make sure it goes out at whatever time you would like. Some more interest for sponsorship today. It's always nice when people are reaching out and going, are you the guy from the podcast? Yeah, that's me. It's been great, the journey we're on. So thank you for everyone for their interest, their support. We continue to need more volunteers, and there's so much more we want to do. And when you read the survey feedback, there'll be some bits where it's like, yeah, we would love to do this, but we just need a few more people to hold their hands up and go, I can spare an hour once a month or something like that. And it makes such a difference when you're running the club. If someone just says, like, hey, I'm going to sort out the website, that's someone that Cameron's sort of taken that on and developed that, and there's so much more things we want to add. But if there's more people that say, hey, I'll help out with adding content to the website, there's big plans of what we'd love to do with the website. Just needs people's time. So don't matter where you are in the world. So don't hesitate if you're like, oh, I'm actually one of the 19 owners in the US. Don't worry. By all means, get in touch. You can help out. We've got people that don't live local that are volunteers for the club. So yeah, as always, thank you so much for your help and support. Up the rocks, and let's keep going. There's no reason why not. We've set the goal. Well, I've set the goal 8th to 11th. We're 10th. Let's have a little bit more, and then let's go for that 8th. So thanks a lot. Have a great week. Up the rocks.